be anything but impressed. Just can't. I thought first of all the crowd was amazing. We set a record tonight, the most students we've ever had in Neville Arena. Welcome back to campus. Welcome back to school. We did what we could when our students were gone, and we felt the energy in the building. Our guys felt the energy in the building. Hearing Cheney get introduced with the starters and the way the crowd and the students received him, I thought it was awesome. Our first shot defense was elite tonight. Our coaching staff, Corey Williams, Chad Pruitt had the scout. Mike had the offense, and Steven had the defense. I thought they did a really, really good job. Coach Jans is an outstanding coach, and we only played them once this year. We played them 3 times last year, and so it was going to be interesting to see what changes would be made and what they would do. They put 90 on Kentucky on Saturday. They scored 66 against us. I thought the defensive game plan was great, but more than anything, Cheney and Dylan, their ability to stay down, be second off the floor, blocked all those shots, just really worked hard at defending without fouling, and that was the difference in the game. And once again, now you guys are going to start keeping track of this, okay? Look at the matchup Denver Jones has. Okay, Hubbard's as good as there is in this league, and this is the second time now, SEC tournament now here, and Denver was locked on him pretty good. And once again, did an outstanding job. So a lot of contributions. Miles Kelly and Cheney Johnson were plus 35. Miles Kelly having 8 defensive rebounds. So that was one of the best offenses for Mississippi State, was they just go get it. And his length, and the reason why he can play in the NBA is because he is that 3-and-D guy. And then you add the rebounding. And so really good. This was Miles back to back now, putting a few great games together.
All right, Ferg and then Jack in the back, these 3.
Bruce, you guys in the first half, Hubbard and Matthews didn't hit a shot. You had as many blocks as they did made shots in the first half. Just that start on defense, what was the key to limiting them, especially those 2 stars?
Well, Cheney and Dylan are in Denver are elite defenders, and Chad Baker and Miles. That starting 5 is as good a defensive unit as you can put out there on the floor, and they just, I think they just locked in and started, locked in, bought in, and when Mississippi State started to make a little bit of a run, and again we had some different lineups out there, it was because we weren't as locked in defensively.
All right, Jack and then Poke.
Coach, in your press conference yesterday, you talked about how you needed players to step up on both sides of the ball. You had 10 blocks, you had 9 in the first half, and the Mississippi State never even tied, nonetheless led in this game. Just what are your impressions from your team on both sides of the ball when you needed them to step up tonight?
Well, the fact that we only turned it over 10 times, and they had 7 steals. They turn you over. They get a lot of offense from their defense in transition. Our assist-turnover ratio was not great because they defend a lot like us. They play those passing lanes and they don't leave shooters, and so there aren't as many dimes. You got to make some one-on-one plays. Denver Jones made some one-on-one plays. Chad Baker-Mazara made some important one-on-one plays, and so I thought our top 7 played great, and then the guys that came off the bench, are getting more experience. Shakai Howard played more. Chris Moore played a role. Shaquem Hudson came in, and we didn't drop off when those guys came in the game, which is a great sign for us moving forward.
Oakham and Nathan.
BB, you talked about Cheney bulking up and getting more physical. Was tonight a good example against Cam Matthews about how much he's improved?
We look at film of Cheney Johnson last year. His hair is a little different, but the young man is 25 pounds heavier right now. He is a monster. Just tell you Coach Damon Davis, the nutritionist, Emily, the things that we can do as far as developing student athletes and developing their bodies, Cheney. But I'll say it again, Cheney Johnson is my hardest worker. It's really hard. If you go back and look at me for 10 or 11 years, when I say somebody's a hard worker, I always say, I always put a couple guys in because you don't want to hurt anybody's feelings. Nobody on this team would argue it. whether it's developing his body, working on his jump shot, just doing all the different things like that. And so he handled the minutes. He didn't get in foul trouble, and gives us a chance moving forward.
Bruce, in terms of being without Janai, you've got an experienced team. Is there any message that you give to guys like Chad and Denver and Cheney beforehand, or do you just kind of trust them to take advantage of the moment?
No, you sort of trust them. We're going to miss Janai more on the offensive end because he's such a great offensive player, and he's such an unselfish passer, and we can do a lot of game planning around him offensively. So I would say that we probably had to go to some other things offensively more so. But our guys knew what they knew what they needed to do, and I thought, like I said, everybody on the roster stepped up, and it's going to be about matchups, and it's about not getting too high, not getting too low. This is what's crazy, okay? We just beat a team by 22 that beat a team that we just beat by 3 they beat by 30. No, they beat South Carolina by 30 or 30 something. It's just wacky in this league now. It's just you can't really predict what's going to happen. Let's just get to the next one and just see if we can keep getting better.
Peter, and then Rosie in the back.
Bruce, you guys went on runs of 10-0, 13-1, 7-0 just in the first half. I guess what does that say about the offensive firepower and y'all's ability to score in a hurry even without Janai Broome on the floor?
Well, I think the fact that Chad, Tahad, Denver, and Miles, if they can see it, they're making it. The 3-point percentage for all three of those guys is off the charts, and then they're just being unselfish, and that really helps. And I thought we had enough inside outside tonight to obviously get things done. Denver Jones continues to amaze me. 3 assists, no turnovers for a 2-guard plant point or combo plant point. Done an amazing job. Denver so badly in the offseason wanted to try to play the point guard for us, and he's done an incredible job to not turn the ball over against a team that forces as many turnovers as Mississippi State does.
All right, Rosie, and then Ferg with the last question.
First, I wanted to ask you about Miles at first, with Denver blocking some shots in these games. How fun is that to see from him? And then for Miles, he said that he was stringing together a couple of good games. What have you seen from him, productive-wise, in practice and games?
Miles is just getting more and more comfortable with his teammates. He's getting more comfortable with the system. He's big. His voice is louder, and he understands what his role is, and he understands the importance. And he's just playing so productively. He understands that how to play productively, and when he's playing with better players right now than he did necessarily a year ago. He had to do so much for Georgia Tech that they had to force things. He doesn't have to force his game. He can sort of let his game come to him. But he's improved defensively.
Bruce, Chad, 20 points on 11 shots. He's leading the league right now in true shooting percentage. Just what's been the difference for him at being even more efficient than he was, even this time last year when he was already a really good scorer?
I mean, he's starting, and he did not start the first 20 or 21 games a year ago. So he's training, he's locked in practice. Chad Baker's got stuff you can't teach. Like, he's got it. There's an it factor in sports, and the great ones have it. He's got it. You can't explain it, but when you see it, when you see it, you know it. Other players know it. Coaches know it. He's got it.
Thanks, Coach.
That was pretty good.
Thanks, Bruce.
Okay, thanks.